And we ran with our nephew, and then, a cop stopped us. They took us a little, to a bit of a safer area behind the cars. And they asked us what we saw. And we told them what we saw. They wrote it down, and they asked everybody to check their phones. Not everybody, because there was mad people like running away too, right? They couldn't get everyone. So I'm wondering if someone's gonna post a video. But yeah, they looked through everyone's phone. I didn't record anything, so I was fine. None of us recorded anything, so we were basically free to go.
And then they stand at the door. People walk through. They ask for their phones. They give them their phones. They give them back, and then they're allowed to walk out.
All right, so yeah, that I think that alien thing was a freak out. I think that was, whatever that was, it was pretty serious. And like I said, I think it was some kids got a hold of some tech. And I forgot to mention, there's something else about it that I realized after I had cut that movie, was the kids, this one guy that was looking at it, he says they saw a kid with glasses, and this guy said that this one kid had like these, not glasses, goggles, like some dark goggles. And I think I know what that might be. I forget the name of them offhand. I heard about it on Jimmy Payne, because he was talking about They Live, that the glasses from They Live, like where you could see the monsters, well, they actually exist. In fact, I even looked on eBay and I saw some there. They kind of have like this dark purple lens, and supposedly he said you could see the demons, with those glasses. I have no idea if it's true or not, but I saw them on eBay for $250. And that would be some gnarly stuff if you could put those in front of a camera and then actually film these things. Whoa, you could actually totally see the demonic realm. But anyway, that kid in the mall, in the Miami Mall, had some of those glasses on, and it could have been that he could see where those demons were, and then he was waiting for those demons, and then what he did was they somehow got some of that tech, that thing that looked like a DVD player, put it down like right in front of where those demons were, opened up the portal, and they just walked on in. But if that is what happened, those kids got a hold of some tech and they let a demon in the middle of the mall, I got to give them credit for some serious balls. I mean, that's some serious, that takes a lot of courage to pull that off. And I don't encourage that, by the way, and I just want to say that I don't think that you should get those goggles and try to see if you can see demons, because it also, supposedly it gives you like a bad headache too, so it's not really a lot of fun. But I was thinking maybe if you could somehow put that lens over, if you could hold those goggles over a video camera and then film it, and then people could see it, that would be gnarly, dude. I mean, that would be, because then you could see demons. But I was thinking also that it might be a mistake, because what might happen is it turns your life into a sour something or other, because who knows, like maybe once you see it, because also once you see them, then, and they know that and they know that you see them, they might really start attacking you, and your life could get very much miserable, and or who knows, you might suffer health effects or something else, or they might really get pissed. But if they're for sale on eBay, now I don't think the portal opening machine is for sale on eBay, but that would be cool, man. Yeah, I get the portal, but the thing is, you don't want to be letting demons in, dude. That's bad news. But like I said, I don't think that I think those creatures, those that live in the other dimension, they're not necessarily demons. Like, those creatures might not necessarily have been demons, but just like other stuff, like fairies and stuff that are from the demonic realm, and they're just, and so when that portal opened in front of them, they just said, oh, this is cool, and they walked through it, and but their bodies, the reason why they seem to glide, and why some said they had no fingers and no feet, and in fact other people said they did, is because when they were walking, they weren't actually gliding. It's just because their feet were in another dimension, so that you couldn't see it. Like it started to phase out of that dimension. They saw them phasing, glitching, you know, like appearing. Like that's why they were disappearing in one place and appearing in another place. That makes a lot of sense as to why people saw them gliding. Or they, you know, who knows? They may have been gliding too. I'm not saying that couldn't be the case also, but it's pretty interesting. Black and white approaching for a direct overhead, but that's pretty normal for this area over here. But you know, I was thinking this morning that there really ought to be a moratorium against these false news, fake news, liar pricks, all these news stations that are broadcasting fake news. I was just listening to this cop, you know, saying that, oh, the reason there were so many cop cars is because there was a bunch of kids throwing firecrackers. Yeah, and you know, and we know that the cops were kept from talking about it because that guy was talking to his dad. He says, can't talk about it.
Have you been seeing the alien stuff? Did you see that in the Bayside?
What?
Are you serious? You're joking. You're joking. Did they tell you not to talk about it?
How many times you want me to slice the pie? I'm not allowed to know about it.
What?
I did know what you're talking about, but I'm not allowed to know about it.
And so why couldn't you talk about it? You know, and it's because it's extraterrestrials. It's non-human. It's something that they have a strict clamp down order. They cannot talk about it. You will lose your frickin' job. They have to obey. And so, you know, they have a tight control over this. Men in Black wrapping up anything that gets out of hand, you know, where humans might become aware that there's non-human intelligence somewhere, whether it's here on Earth or out in the universe. They don't want humans thinking about or taking seriously the existence of non-human intelligence.
Werewolves, but yeah, I used to run with them at Area 51.
And Jimmy, wait, should I be concerned? Because you said there's, you know, the one that seduces women, right?
Well, Annie Harper, when she wrote her steamy romance movie book, I mean, How to Seduce a Werewolf, I knew the guy that was the werewolf. Yeah, I knew. She didn't know he was a werewolf when she married him, and then she found out because he was coming back peeing on the door on the front porch. He was doing that to mark his territory so he wouldn't, you know, let's keep away the other werewolves, because he was scared that, you know, they were going to steal his girlfriend, you know, so that was why he marked his territory. Of course, she found out and told him not to pee on the porch anymore.
Don't all men do that, though? I'm just...
Yeah, that's how they mark their territory.
Exactly.
If you have a suitor and he's a werewolf and he's scared he's going to lose you, he'll come back up and pee on your porch or your car or whatever. He's marking his scent to keep the other ones away.
Take note, ladies.
So we need Barry Littleton here for his crack his joke right now. Oh my gosh. So who appoints cryptids to guard stargates? Well, is that even true? Yeah, actually it is true.
Dogmen do guard Area 51. That is a very true question and answer.
Okay, thank you for that. And what about stargates?
That's more towards the Paiute warriors. People who go into hell are werewolves looking for the demons. And the female werewolf, she's the guard, she's the Stargate guard. Her duty is not let any demons out of hell.
And this may really have a purpose also with the Lord, because if the devils themselves become known, because human consciousness is expanded to the point where we now know seriously that there's non-humans, not just out in the cosmos, but living among us, then it could lead to knowledge that devils are who have constructed this entire society. And it's all about tempting people into sin, making their own choice to sin, because they're highly motivated to, right? Just to feed yourself and live indoors. But the fact is, though, it's a sphere of judgment. So you'll be held accountable for going along with it and doing it, unless with the faith of the Lord you depart from it. Yeah, I just was sitting over there, and I just thought I would ask some people that sat down next to me, and I just said, have you guys heard of the big thing with the police showing up in that Miami mall and people claiming there was 10-foot tall aliens and all that stuff? They hadn't even heard of it. So it's probably not in the mainstream news. And I tried to mention to them that all news is fake, and I could tell that what I said freaked them out. Like I could feel the discomfort with my person after I said that. But of course, a lot of people don't know. See, a lot of people out here, they have no idea that the news is total propaganda and lies that you can't trust. They're just total crap, and you shouldn't even watch TV, because it's just nothing but this syrupy propaganda trying to make you feel comfortable, but behind the scenes they're chowing down on your kids. As far as Jeffrey Epstein shape-shifting, I don't have any reason to disbelieve that woman, and I think a lot of people see this, but that might actually be like a demonic distortion. Like the guy is so loaded up with demons that he shape-shifted into what the prevailing spirit inside of him was. Or who knows, maybe he is a reptilian. But and also maybe these people start out as human, but then they turn reptilian, like that one guy was saying, with the introduction of reptilian DNA or something, I don't know if there's anything to this, but I've been having this recurring thought that we're on the wrong timeline for the proper end of the world to take place. The temple isn't even close to being built, and we know that they messed with the timeline, or at least that's what I have surmised. They really have messed with the timeline. Now, you could argue that it's all this is all part of the plan that's leading up to, and there's no deviation from the scripture. But an interesting thought I've had is that it's going to be like a 20 and back, where what happens is we, at a certain point, the timeline gets corrected. So we could actually get something like the Steins Gate effect that the main dude from Steins Gate had. That some of us may retain your memory if what happens is the time gets reset. So as Jimmy Payne was saying, he's in favor of putting things back the way they were, and if that happens, everything will be reset back to the one of the first or the first time jump that affected history in some kind of major way, or whatever was the first one. And then some of us will repeat the last 30 years or whatever, or 40, whatever it is. But I think if you're returned to, like if you hadn't been born yet, you won't retain your memory if you were a baby. That's impossible, or it's not very likely. Like, you may get deja vu, but it won't be like you won't really get the memory back as if you were still like awake and conscious. Like if I get set back to age 20 or 15 or whatever, I may yet just hypothetically retain my memory. But and then you have to, but even though you could redo a lot of things, like dropping out of high school, stay in high school, friends. Let me tell you, if I could go back in time, oh man, that's one thing I would do is just get my high school diploma, because I was so rebellious and my father gave me the option to drop out of school, and that was a huge mistake. At least with your high school diploma. But see, given everything that I know, I might have ended up on a similar trajectory, and these what ifs are irrelevant in the face of a designer plan that's so intelligent and including everything that needs to be done that second guessing yourself is problematic, especially when Jesus says it's not all going according to the plan of my Father. And we know from the scripture and that the reality that we're actually experiencing is the will of God, unless it so happens that it includes that we have to relive a period of history because some people tampered with time, but and then we get back on the right track, right timeline for everything that is supposed to take place in God's Word to take place. There was this one guy I was listening to on TikTok, and he seemed to have a pretty good idea about the dimensions. He was saying that we live in like a situation where there's other dimensions stacked on top of us, and all you have to do is tap into that realm. Because he was saying that he thought that the event in Miami was true, was a real event, and those were interdimensional beings. And so it's interesting how there's a lot of people that have a lot of knowledge about this stuff that I don't have, and it's interesting to hear. But you don't know what the credibility of these people are. But to me, that's one of the best ways to get information is for free, because you buy these books and you don't know. First of all, you don't see their face. It doesn't mean that they're right, and chances are actually you're probably going to get someone who's more knowledgeable and well studied if they can at least get it together to write a book and publish it. But on the other hand, there's a lot of books that people publish, and it's a bunch of BS, But I think it is fascinating, and even though it may have been like a prank that just some kids managed to pull off, they got some tech from their, secret space program parents, and whatever, or who knows, maybe they're geniuses. They cooked up one, like they managed to get some glasses or something. But that portal looked exactly like the one in the Avengers movie, the Marvel Avengers Endgame. At least I haven't seen like a lot of the Doctor Strange ones, so I just saw that one, Multiverse of Madness. But the portals, I don't remember the portals from that one being exactly like that swirling thing of light. But I think that picture, I could be wrong, of course, we don't know. It could be CGBS, but I'm thinking that security cam footage was something that they did not want leaked, and of that circle, opening up, and you see that, whatever that is, because the way that was staged, all those people there. I'm not saying, I think they have deep fakes, like I found out thanks to the great work of the great James Corbett of the Corbett Report, which is now entirely kicked off of YouTube for absolutely no good reason whatsoever. He was a great documentarian, but he just refused to stop talking about the, can't talk about it on YouTube, but that's the state of affairs that we're in. But yeah, he pointed out that this one about Funvax was actually a fraud, and it had me completely fooled, because it was well done. I mean, that guy could have been Bill Gates, it fooled me. And the question was, who spent all that money? Why would they spend all that money on a deep fake? And he pointed out very well, he pointed out the facts, and it's 100% apparent that it was a fraud, which really anybody who investigated it, a lot more than I did in a much more professional way, I believed it too fast. But it is fascinating, it is really interesting that they put together something like that. So it's clearly an expensive production. That was with a script and actors given a role and everything there, man. So that was, I mean, no light, cheesy, quick put together, So whatever it was moneyed. Okay, it takes money to make a video like that. Okay, I don't have it here. It's the one that was about Funvax, and it shows this guy supposedly talking about how they've introduced a vaccine, a spreadable through bombs or something, or air spraying, some sort of inoculation that it causes those that are religiously fundamental to lose their appetite for God, because that's what they isn't that interesting? They determined that the real way to stop fundamentalist terror, the real source of it, is belief in the Almighty, belief in an Almighty God, like Allah from Islam. And so this guy was saying, yeah, we've come up with this thing, we've retitled it Funvax, fundamentalist vaccine against fundamentalism. Funvax, okay? It's not fun as in having fun. It's Funvax, and I thought that was pretty wild. But that whole movie again was a significant production. There's no no saying that didn't have money and significant planning, and whoever was smart, they found a Bill Gates look-alike and sound alike, and it was just very well done. And the question is why pretend that you made a vaccine? Maybe that was disinformation, like wartime, Cold War time against terrorists. Look at this guy. Check it out. I like people with these specialty cars. It's kind of just something I grew up with. But so maybe it was like a wartime, to try to, psychological warfare against the enemy to make, oh crap, they got some kind of, thing they're going to spray over us to take away our faith, and freak them out. And they're like, okay, maybe we better not mess with America, or, who knows. But I have a feeling it's something more sinister than that. So my point was, given that deep fake that they did with the fun vax, this could be another deep fake, just to, I know some conspiracy people out there are listening to saying, no, Richard is fooled by these, people trying to, they're prepping for the alien invasion thing, which I thought was so obvious that it's not going to fool anybody, but maybe that's why they're revealing the Tic Tac, and Congress is so-called pushing for disclosure, and of course it's really not disclosure, or I don't think that it is. And as I've mentioned, if I thought Trump was honest, then he would first of all, like I said, come forward about Fauci and the pandemic and everything that happened there, and admit that he had, and Bolton and that other crap bag that stabbed him in the back. But I mean, at least about what happened with the what, can't mention on YouTube. So like I said, man, I just it's hard for me to support it. But to be honest with you, given the alternative, I might end up just going ahead if I go. Because I want to vote, because actually I just signed a petition for Prop 59. If you're here in LA, Los Angeles, and it's about providing homeless shelters, permanent homeless. Because I think there's plenty. There is absolutely plenty of housing all over this frickin' place for everyone. Everyone could have a place. Yep. And there's no reason, dude, no reason for anybody to be on the street, because they could provide a house for everyone. And so I'm voting for that, and I want to definitely do that, because I mean, it just rips my ass, dude. I am just, it hurts my feelings that our people don't have enough common sense. We have more money in this town than the entire fucking world, and you got people sleeping on the street, okay? You got people sleeping all over the place, that actually I have said for many years that you could, in fact, without making it too easy and whatever, allowing people to be slobs and not work, because that's the main thing I was worried about, because if you provide an easy incentive, then people can just lie around. But I mean, and then you can get all kinds of people, well, they just don't want to work, so then they apply for the free housing, and then they just basically hang out and smoke weed. But it's beyond that. It's beyond that, okay? Because you got a problem that's like actually a national emergency, okay? It's a national emergency. So if you're here in LA, vote for Prop 59, because that will, I think that's, at least it's a move towards, I just found out about it just now, so I don't know, I have to look into it more, but I'm pretty sure that what it's about is providing, he said it, I asked him what's the gist, and he says it's about providing permanent housing for homeless people, people that and because I mean there are people that these people should have a little common sense, that they can take a look at some of these folks and they can just see that it's and this not only would it create a shitload of jobs here at home, we could take as Jimmy Dore very well said, I love Jimmy Dore, he said we could take a little tiny fraction of the money that we're sending to Ukraine or other wars, other bullshit interventionist wars that we don't need. Just take a little bit of that money and end, as in end homelessness, okay? And I know, I just feel strongly about it, man, because I mean, I just, you know, I've experienced what it's like, you know, and I mean, I haven't even fallen to the level of not having a vehicle, but I know how outs you feel. And you know, if for whatever your life, because you know, they can do it in a way to where it's not as nice and easy as having your own place, and they shouldn't make it like some kind of draconian prison or whatever. But you know, it's not going to be as nice as having a, you know, a real apartment that you pay for. You know, it'll have metal doors so that, you know, people can't break into your place and steal your stuff. People that are drug crazed or violent or raping or whatever like that, because they tend to be criminals, of course. But still, you know, a lot better than just having no place to go. You know, they could have TVs, they could, you know, they could get fresh food, you know, and it could employ all kinds of people, including other homeless people who may not have anything to do, and they start to learn how to do a job, you know, helping to clean up or serve food or whatever. And any number of these buildings here, half of which are freaking empty, they could do it totally. And I mean, to me, it's way high time, dude. Just absolutely way high time. I'm writing a piece now from a non-Christian perspective, even though I am, but I don't come at it from that direction, because what I want to try to do is take a reasonable look at, and a scientific kind of look at the mystery of the evil that afflicts humanity. And in particular, talking about the reptilians, serpents, and or devils, or devil beasts, whatever you want to call them, just to get to that subject in particular. But I think that one of the main things that I'm getting to at the end is what's the purpose of the reptilians? You see, because if you just look at it as, well, it's, you know, unfortunate situation where, you know, these evil reptilian aliens from an ancient parallel universe or something came over here, somebody kicked them out, and now they're here, and they're taking advantage of humanity because they need to eat humans, because God cursed the serpent above all beasts of the field, whatever, and now they need to eat the dust. They eat dust all their lives, but Adam was made of dust, so that means they ate humans. But, you know, getting to a more kind of a functional reason, you know, not just that God did it. You know, of course, I believe God did it, right? Because I'm a believer. But, you know, what was God's functional reason for doing it? You know, why do this? Why have this situation where you have this reptilian race ruling over us and making this society, which I think in part is so miserable. I mean, I'm not gonna subtract blame from humanity on this, okay? Because I think if we let it be what it is, then we're at least partially to blame. But I do believe that there is a source that is behind the top governorship of the world, which maybe it needs to be what that is, for this experience of evil, for us to experience leaving our brothers and sisters to sleep on the street, to leave our fellow human beings on the street, even if they are our brothers and sisters, whatever, any sentient beings from alien planets that somehow just can't get it together to keep a job long enough to afford an apartment, you know? It's really weird what you discover years later, because I felt, you know, really bad about missing higher education, dropping out of school and ending up a homeless man. And then I find out from William Tompkins that higher education was designed to keep you stupid, according to Admiral Rick Abada and this other dude. And they revealed to him that when they want people for the real space program, which is the secret space program, they recruit people who haven't been through the education system so as to dumb their mind down. It was like I always knew about education, the whole system. You just tell by the vibe. And then to find out years later, because I was looking at the alien, the xenomorph from the Aliens movies, And I always had a creepy feeling that the thing might be real, but you know, I was, you know, I didn't think that in my mind. I just, you know, it just seemed like this really kind of creepy, weird thing. And then to find out from Jimmy Payne 30 years later, 40 years later, that yeah, actually it's real. That's just mind-blowing. And the Predator. I didn't even have a thought about that. But it's amazing, man. It's just mind-blowing. If you're watching this, it's not too late. Say this prayer now. Father in heaven, please save my soul by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible.